वेलकम बॅक टू बियॉन्ड बॅलन्स शीट. कालच्या लेक्चर मध्ये आपण क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 लेसन नंबर 1 चा OCM चा आपण बघितलेला. आज आपण क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 पासून कंटिन्यू करणार आहोत. तर क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 काय आहे? क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 काय आहे? आन्सर इन ब्रीफ मधला पहिला क्वेश्चन, स्टेट एनी 5 फीचर्स ऑफ प्रोफेशन. आता ह्याच्यात मी 4 दिलेले आहेत, पण हे 4 लिहिणे गरजेचे आहेत का? नाही. तुम्हाला हवे ते तुम्ही लिहू शकता, म्हणजे महत्वाचे आहेत 4 ते मी लिहिलेले आहेत. ओके. पहिलं काय? एम. आता प्रोफेशनचं एम काय? एव्हरी प्रोफेशन इज प्रॅक्टिस मेनली फॉर अर्निंग मनी बाय रेंडरिंग सर्व्हिसेस टू द क्लायंट. अर्निंग मनी फॉर रेंडरिंग सर्व्हिसेस टू द client. Qualification काय? A profession can only be practiced after acquiring the required educational qualification and forward training. Acquiring the required educational qualification and formal training. Then financial returns कशात आहेत? Fees in the exchange of their services income is not fixed. Registration and membership. Profession must register with the respective councils such as ICAI, Bar Council are the following and follow it codes of conduct. And types of industry, 2 types of industry सांगितलं, प्रायमरी इंडस्ट्री आणि सेकंडरी इंडस्ट्री. प्रायमरी इंडस्ट्री मध्ये काय? नेचर ओरिएंटेड इंडस्ट्री, एक्झाम्पल ऍग्रिकल्चर, एक्स्ट्रॅक्टिव्ह आणि जेनेटिक इंडस्ट्री. आणि सेकंडरी इंडस्ट्री मध्ये काय? कन्वर्ट द रॉ मटेरियल फ्रॉम द प्रायमरी इंडस्ट्री इनटू फिनिश प्रोडक्ट, फॉर एक्झाम्पल मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग अँड कन्स्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री. देन 2 टाइप्स ऑफ फॉरेन ट्रेड. फॉरेन ट्रेडचे 2 प्रकार आहेत. काय आहेत? इम्पोर्ट ट्रेड मध्ये काय? परचेस ऑफ गुड्स अँड सर्व्हिसेस फ्रॉम अदर कंट्री. तसंच एक्सपोर्ट आहे. एक्सपोर्ट म्हणजे काय? सेल ऑफ गुड्स अँड सर्व्हिसेस, selling goods and services to buyer in the foreign country. Then auxiliaries of trade. 4 auxiliaries of trade सांग विचारलं नाही, म्हणून 4 मध्ये काय सांगणार आहोत आपण? ट्रान्सपोर्ट. Facilities movement of goods from producers to customer over distance. Warehouse provide storage of goods, bridge the gap between the production and consumption. Insurance cover business risks such as loss of goods due to fire, theft or accident. Banking provide funds, loans and other financial services to run the business smoothly. आता auxiliaries of trade मध्ये तुम्ही कम्युनिकेशन लिहू शकता, मर्चंडाइज लिहू शकता, अजून काही गोष्टी आहेत त्या लिहू शकता. हेच लिहिणं गरजेचं नाही. त्याच्यानंतर स्टेट एनी 4 फीचर्स ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट. 4 फीचर्स मध्ये एम. द एम ऑफ इज टू अर्न मनी टू मीट द नीड्स ऑफ द बोथ एम्प्लॉयर अँड एम्प्लॉई. मॉनिटरी रिटर्न्स मध्ये काय? वेजेस डेली आणि वीकली और सॅलरी मंथली. Then no capital investment is required for employees side. Then no transferability. Employment cannot be transferred from one person to another. A retiring teacher cannot pass a job to his child. Then next is write the 4 objectives of business. First is to earn the profit. Profit is required for the survival and the growth of the business. Then next is searching new customer. Business must work to create and retain customers. Innovation. Businesses must improve product process through research and development and use of technology. Then next is best possible use of resources. Scarce resources should be used optimally to avoid waste. Then next is what are the 4 features of business? First is economic activity. Business is undertaken to earn money or livelihood, not out of sentiments, profit motive. The basic purpose of business is to earn profit. Exchange of goods and services. Business involve transfer of goods and services for money or money worth. Element of risks. Every business carries some risks such as loss due to fire, theft or changing customer taste. What are the 2 types of primary industry? First is agriculture industry, involve farmers and cultivation of land, example growing of food grains. Then next is extractive industry, draw out product from the natural resources, mining and fishing. Then question number 6, justify the following statement. Retail sales are in the direct contact with untimely customers. हे प्रोसेस कशी आहे? तर पहिलं कोण असतं? मॅन्युफॅक्चरर असतो. मॅन्युफॅक्चरर कडनं कोणाकडे जातं? तर होलसेलरकडे. होलसेलर रिटेलरकडे जातो आणि रिटेलरकडनं कस्टमरकडे येतो. सो दिस इज ट्रू. आता ते जस्टिफाय करायचंय. ट्रू. A retailer purchase goods from wholesaler and sell them in a small quantity directly to the final customer for personal use. So, since no one is intermediary between the retailer and the buyer, the retailer is a link that is direct contact with the on-time customer. Then commerce is wider than trade. Commerce मध्ये काय येतं, trade आणि auxiliaries of trade. So it is true. Trade only refers to actual buying and selling of goods and services. Commerce on the other hand includes both trade and auxiliaries of trade. Since trade is the only one part of a commerce, commerce is a wider term than trade. Then risk is equivalent in business activities too. Every business is exposed to a factor beyond its control, such as change in customer taste and fashion, fire, theft, and natural calamities, and change in government policies. Businessmen can minimize such risks through planning and insurance, but they cannot never be completely avoided, which makes the risk an equivalent element of business. Combination of import trade and export trade is an interport trade. True, interport trade involves importing goods from one country and reselling the same goods to the another country. Example, Indian traders importing goods from Japan and reselling them to Africa. Since they involve both import and subsequently export transaction, it is correctly described as a combination of import and export trade. The next is transport create place utility. True, goods are produced at one place but demanded at different place. Transport carries goods from one place of production to the place where they are actually consumed, hereby making a goods available where they are needed. This movement of goods from one place to another is what creates place utility. Industrial activities take place before commerce starts its role. True, industry is concentrated with production of goods and services, while commerce deals in their distribution. Goods must be first produced by the industry before they are distributed, exchanged, or sold through commerce. Hence, industry activities necessarily predict the role to commerce. The next is available resources should be used to its maximum. True, resources such as raw material, capital, labor, and land are scarce and have alternative use. If they are wasted or underutilized, cost rises and profitability falls. Optimum use of available resources reduce waste, lower the cost, and untimely help in increasing the profit of the business. Hence, the resources should be used for their maximum. Then wholesaler is a link between the retailer and manufacturer. True, wholesaler purchase the goods in bulk directly from the producers, manufacturers, and sell them in the small quantity to the retailer. Since the wholesaler stands between the manufacturer and the retailer in the chain of distribution, he acts as connecting link between them. Business is a part of economic activity. True, economic activities are those activities undertaken to earn money or money worth and are classified into business, profession, and employment. Since business is undertaken with the aim of earning profit, it satisfies the definition of economic activity and is therefore rightly classified as one part of an economic activity. Attempt the following. आता हे तुम्हाला 8 मार्काला 10 मार्काला येऊ शकतं. त्यानुसार मग मी इथे तुम्हाला लिहिलेलं आहे. ओके, आता मी एक त्यातले फक्त पॉइंट्स वाचून सांगते आणि कुठे तुम्हाला एक्सप्लेन करायचं असेल तर एक्सप्लेन करते, कारण की खूप मोठे मोठे आहेत. What do you mean by commerce? Commerce is a part of business activity which is concentrated with the distribution of goods and services produced by industry. It involves all the activities essential for maintaining a free and uninterrupted flow of goods from producers to the consumers. Commerce builds a gap between the producers and customers through exchange of goods and services for money or money worth. It is further divided into two broad parts: trade and auxiliaries of trade. Trade refers to the actual buying and selling of goods and services. Auxiliaries of trade includes the supporting services as transport, warehouse, insurance, banking, advertisement, mercantile agents, and communication. Commerce creates place, time, and possession utility in goods, whereas Industry only creates form utility. In short, without commerce, goods produced by industry could never reach the final consumer. So, commerce is essential for the smooth working of the economy. What do you mean by export trade? Export trade is a part of foreign internal external trade. It refers to selling of goods and services by business in one country to the buyer located in another. It takes place across the geographical boundaries of the exporting countries. It requires dealing in the foreign currency, foreign exchange, since the buyer and the sellers belongs to different countries. It is regulated by import and export policy and customs law for the exporting country. Example, in an Indian textile manufacturer sells garment to a buyer in USA, it engage in export trade. Export trades earn valuable foreign exchange from the exporting country. It helps domestic industry expand their market beyond national boundaries and increase production and employment at house. State the role of auxiliaries of trade in trading activity. First is removing the hurdles, means what is the obstacles. It helps to remove the obstacles. Then transportation, warehouse, insurance, banking, advertisement, merchandise and communication. What are the different types of secondary industries? Secondary industries are those depending on the primary industry and convert the raw material supplied by them in finished product. The types of secondary industry are manufacturing industry and construction industry. Then the different types of human activities. All the active human beings keeping themselves engaged in some activities to the life or to satisfy their needs. Human activities can be broadly classified into two main activities, that is economic activity and non-economic activity. Non-economic activity and economic activity. Economic activity are further classified into three, that is business, profession and employment. Then next is describe the scope of internal trade. Internal trade, also called as home trade, refers to buying and selling of goods and services within the geographical boundaries of single country. It uses only the local domestic currency of exchange of goods and services. It is divided into two parts: wholesale trade and retail trade. Wholesale trade, when the goods are purchased in large quantity from the producers and sold in the small quantity to the retailer. The wholesale trade is the link between the producers and retailer. Retail trade, goods are purchased from the wholesaler and sold it in the small quantity to the finished and untimely consumer. Internal trade helps in distribution of the goods produced within the country to every corner of the domestic market. It does not require dealing in foreign currency and is only subject to the domestic law and taxes. It plays a key role in linking the producers, wholesalers, retailers, customers within the national economy. Then next is, how does banking and insurance help trading? Banking provide funds, banking payment services, banking safekeeping, banking trade facilities, insurance risk cover, insurance compensation and insurance confidence. ह्या ज्या काही आहेत ते बँकिंग फॅसिलिटीज प्रोव्हाइड करतात आणि 5-6-7 हे इन्शुरन्स कंपनीज फॅसिलिट करतात. असे जर तुम्हाला अजून कोणते माहिती असेल तर तुम्ही लिहिला तरी चालेल. त्याच्यानंतर गिव्ह कंपॅरिझन बिटवीन अनालिसिस बिटवीन एम्प्लॉयमेंट, प्रोफेशन आणि बिझनेस. जे आन्सर तुम्ही वरती लिहिलेला होता डिफरन्सिएशन, तेच आन्सर इथे कॉपी केला तरी चालू शकतं. त्यांनी काय काय पॉइंट्स घेतले नाहीत, मिनिंग घेतले नाही. बिझनेस इज अन इकॉनॉमिक ऍक्टिव्हिटी इन्व्हॉल्विंग प्रोडक्शन अँड डिस्ट्रीब्युशन ऑफ गुड्स अँड सर्व्हिसेस. Profession involves rendering of export services. Employment involves working under the another person as per a service contract. Returns and rewards. Businessman earn profit. Professional charges fees. Employee receive wages and salaries. Capital investment. Businessman needs capital depending on its size, nature. Profession needs limited capital. Employment need no capital investment. Nature of work. Business provide goods and services to public. Profession require expert knowledge and training. Employment qualification is prescribed by the nature of work. Business provide goods and services to the public. Profession render services, personalized expert services. Employment involves performance working as per a service contract. Qualification: no minimum qualification is prescribed for business. Profession require expert knowledge and training. Education, employment qualification is prescribed by the employee. In decision making, businessmen are free to take their own decisions. Profession take expert decisions in their field. Employee have no power to take the decision. Risks: business have high risks, then carries limited amount of risks by profession and have very low risks or no risks in employment. Basis of relationship: business rely on the buyer and the seller relation. Profession relies on the professional client relation, whereas employment rely on the employee and employer relation. Transferability: there is none of three. Business, goodwill, profession and employment can or is strictly sensed to be transferred to another person by an individual own will. आणि एक्झाम्पल लिहिणे. त्याच्यानंतर इथे बिझनेसचे जे फीचर्स आहेत ते सगळे दिले आहेत. काय? इकॉनॉमिक ऍक्टिव्हिटी, टू पार्टीज, प्रॉफिट मोटिव्ह, production of goods and services, exchange of goods and services, dealing in goods and services, continuity in dealing, uncertain returns, element of risk, customer satisfaction. Then describe various objective of business. तेच आहेत ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह. पण आता काय आहे? अर्निंग प्रॉफिट, सर्चिंग ऑफ न्यू कस्टमर. आता रोल ऑफ प्रॉफिट आहे ना, तेच त्यांनी इथे दिलं नाही. आता नाही, हे बिझनेस ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह आणि इकॉनॉमिक ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह ज्याचा आन्सर जे आपण डिस्कस केलेलं होतं एका व्हिडिओमध्ये, तेच आहे त्याने दिलेले इथे. हे अर्निंग प्रॉफिट, सर्चिंग फॉर न्यू कस्टमर, इनोव्हेशन, बेस्ट पॉसिबल यूज ऑफ रिसोर्सेस, सप्लाइंग गुड क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट, अवॉइडिंग अनफेअर ट्रेड प्रॅक्टिसेस, एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन, वेलफेअर ऑफ एम्प्लॉई, हेल्प टू सॉल्व्ह दी सोशल प्रॉब्लेम, कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन टू दी सोसायटी. नाही, इथे प्रॉफिट रोल वरती जे आपण चार्ट बघितलेला होता आणि जे मी डिस्कस केलेले आहेत तेच आहे तिथे. रिटर्न ऑन इन्व्हेस्टमेंट, रिसर्च अँड डेव्हलपमेंट, ग्रोथ अँड एक्सपान्शन, इन्क्रीज एफिशियन्सी, मीन्स ऑफ लाईव्हलीहूड, रिगार्ड of the risk taking, survival of businesses आणि गुडविल, रेप्युटेशन. ओके, आता आपला हा लेसन कम्प्लीट झालाय. आता थांबूया. आता मी काय म्हणत होते, जर तुम्हाला समजला असेल, व्हिडिओ आवडला असेल तर लाईक करा, सबस्क्राईब करा आणि तुमच्या फ्रेंड्स सोबत, तुमच्या क्लासमेट सोबत हा व्हिडिओ शेअर करा, सो दॅट त्यांना पण हा व्हिडिओ युजफुल असेल. आज आपण हा लेसन कम्प्लीट केला आहे. तर उद्याच्या लेक्चरमध्ये आपण, जर मला उद्या जमलं तर मी तुमचा ह्याचा वन शॉट जो आहे उद्या आणि परवा असे 2 पार्ट अपलोड करीन. पण जर मला सॅटर्डे संडे जमलंच नाही काही माझ्या पर्सनल कामांमुळे, तर मी एक नक्की करीन की तुमचा सोमवारी जो लेसन नंबर 2 आहे तो सुरुवात करेन. आणि तुमचा जेव्हा एक्झाम पिरियड असेल म्हणजे 15 ऑगस्ट नंतर, कारण की लेसन नंबर 2 आपला OCM चा कम्प्लीट झाला की मी लगेच मग इकॉनॉमिक्सचा लेसन नंबर 1 कव्हर करेन. आणि मग इकॉनॉमिक्सचा लेसन नंबर 1 आणि लेसन नंबर 2 आपल्याला 15 ऑगस्ट पर्यंत काही करून कव्हर करायचे. आणि ते झालं की मग 15 ऑगस्ट नंतर तुमची मग वन शॉट सिरीज सुरू करेन. आणि जर मला उद्या वेळ भेटला तर मी उद्या पण ह्याचा वन शॉट टाकेन, सो दॅट तुम्ही एक्झामच्या वेळी तो बघू शकता. आता थांबूया. काही डाऊट्स असतील, काही समजलं नसेल तर मला कमेंट्स करा. आणि व्हिडिओज आवडला असेल तर चॅनलला नक्की सबस्क्राईब करा. ह्याच्या पुढे तुमच्यासाठी युजफुल व्हिडिओज या चॅनलवरती येत राहणार आहे. थँक्यू. हॅव अ नाईस डे.